speaking of weird, let's keep it on the weird side, and then we'll end it on a more lighthearted note. So, Mercedes Monet, she's in the news again. Why is Mercedes Monet in the news again? So she announced via her website that she is starting a new service for a low, low price of $100 a month. According to Mercedes Monet, you can be text buddies with her again just for $99 a month, $99.99, so $100.
For this.
And it says, I'm sure that's going to help things, by the way. I'm going to tell you where this is going. My super fans have always been my super friends. Now, like friends, they can text me directly and privately. I'm so excited to finally be able to connect this way. Sign up and text me now, Mercedes, for just $99.99 a month, exclusive, one-on-one, personal and private text. Get my private number that only my super fans can use. How it works. You click here to sign up. We're obviously not going to do that. Spots are extremely limited, so if you want to chat with me directly, don't wait. Let's make this happen. Let's see some examples that she says. We have this first one. Hi, Mercedes. Is Snoop Dogg really your cousin? When did you talk to him last? Reply. He is. I saw him in New York. We had dinner and talked to him. Okay. Next one. Hi, Mercedes. What are you doing today? I'm with my dog trainer trying to potty train Bugs Bunny. Mercedes, were you really hurt in your match with Momo? 100% her kicks bruised my throat and I couldn't speak for 2 days. So, as you can see, those are some of the examples of texting back and forth with Mercedes Monet for $100. And I'm sure people who are delusional enough to pay $100 a month, I'm sure those are the kind of questions they're going to be asking. And then we have another one. There's one that says, Hey, Mercedes, what are you doing? And then she sends back a picture.
That's $100 right there. God damn. Oh my god! If I paid $100 and I asked such a benign question like that, and I got that answer, I think I'd throw my phone.
Yes. I don't think those are the kind of questions that are going to be asked.
How long until you get the perverts that have
Oh,
$100 to spend?
if they're delusional to be sending $100 a month, I think there's going to be some dirty shit happening. Like, oh, what color panties are you wearing right now?
Show me your pussy.
Like,
Is it shaved?
yeah, they're just like immediately going to jump into that. They're probably going to think they got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
I'm just laying here in bed, Sasha.
What are you doing right now?
What are you wearing?
I'm in bed touching myself.
Are you in the shower?
Yeah. I'm
Try to
rubbing my
call
ring.
her.
I just think it's going to be some weird stuff, and she's kind of inviting this. That being said, in the OnlyFans industry, they do have tech service kind of similar to what's happening here. And by their own admission, they have a management team who basically it's a call center job of people answering the text messages. Number one, imagine having to do that job. But two, so you're not even talking to the actual person you think you're texting. You're just talking to some dude sitting, probably eating potato chips and answering your text.
That's what I always assume. If I'm talking to a pretty girl on the internet, I always assume it's a fat fuck.
Yeah, like back when they had the hotline things, we assumed that it was some dude just doing a good girl's voice. But yeah, that's what they do in the OnlyFans industry. They have text services, and then they just have basically it's a call center job where you're answering the text. So I assume that's what you're going to be getting. And let's say this does, go off how she thinks it's going to go off. Like, let's say there's like 5,000 people who sign up, and they all send just one text message. She's not going to sit there and be able to respond to all 5,000 messages.
No, of course not.
So yeah, it's just setting up for failure in some way. So yeah, it's going to be a disaster.
try to call her after work. Oh, I had a really bad day. Just decided to talk to my girlfriend.
Yeah. And that's
Uh,
another thing. She's going to be the first one in a month to be talking about she has a stalker or something
of course.
because of this. Someone who's going to think they're talking to her, talking to someone in the call center, is going to get close enough to, yeah, they think they're going to be in an actual relationship with her, and it's just going to get weird quick. All that being said, I think it'd be good for our business, our podcast. Can you just imagine this? We're on the podcast. We got a question that involves, I don't know, Mercedes in some way, or, oh, did Tony Khan really say this? I don't know. Here, let's hit up Mercedes right now. I think it would be a good, good for our business to be on this list. Is what I'm getting at here.
Well, if you would like to spend $100,
Well, I mean, probably not this month. I get it next month or something. But you know how I've always wanted a source, and this would be basically paying to have a source if it's actually her. Again, I don't think it's going to be actually her, but hey, Mercedes, can you tell me about? See, I don't even have a good pretend question. If I actually use it, I'm not going to have a good question then either. We're live right now on the air. Can you say hello to our fans and then wait for the synopsis?
wait for this picture as a response.
But you know, if I did sign up for it, I would have to take to the grave that it is actually her, and this is all real. Even though everybody probably calling it out, like, no, it's real. Speaking of real, let's get on to our last story so we can get on out of here. We talk a little bit of Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. So this kind of started earlier in the week. Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan, they released this video, and it's kind of like an NWO video.
It's definitely an NWO video.
Yes, really they didn't say anything, but it's like
They're back.
who,
You don't know who the third man is, and it's gonna blow your mind.
yes. So I don't know. It did generate hype.
It did.
And a lot of people thought it was just them announcing a podcast.
I vehemently said that.
Yeah, you were really on the podcast train.
But what they announced was infinitely more dumb.
Yes. So
See, I didn't in my brain. I didn't think like. I just thought they were gonna go like the natural route. I didn't think that they were gonna do something stupid.
Well, we fast forward a couple days, and they talk about the third man. The third man is Israel Izzy Martinez. Who is that, you might ask? He is a UFC coach. Why is a UFC coach the third man? Well, you see, Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan are announcing Real American Freestyle. Obviously, after the Real American Beer brand, but this is basically a new wrestling promotion. Still, it's really vague on what exactly is going on, but from what I gather, and this is coming from Yahoo Sports, so this is what they're gathering. I'm gathering what they're gathering. So this Real American Freestyle is an actual collegiate freestyle wrestling organization or whatever. So they're gonna have like real wrestlers and sports entertain it a little bit, not in the sense of like, you know, they're gonna be doing body slams and and suplexes and stuff like that. So what Hogan initially said, so the wrestlers they're gonna have like backstories, but it's gonna be real backstories, like, oh, what injuries did he have to overcome to get here, and you know, why is he fighting for like his family? I don't know. That's literally how you described it. So they're gonna have backstories, so you actually get to know the people who are wrestling.
And for what I understand, he got the idea. They got the idea because Gable Stevenson got pinned by some dude. So they're
He
like,
did.
we're gonna make real wrestling relevant.
Yes, he did lose Gable Stevenson, but I don't know what that has to do with.
I don't either, but it inspired them.
I don't know what watching that moment had to do with anything at all.
So they decided, you know what, we're gonna make freestyle wrestling the biggest thing since sliced bread. I forget how he worded it or how it was worded, but it was like, well, I don't want to compete with WWE and UFC because we should already be as big as them. So I don't know what the fuck they're. I kind of think like if they went the podcast route, they would have been more successful. But what do I know?
Probably. But yes, this is basically, to break it all the way down as much as we can, it's basically them starting a actual wrestling promotion. It's actual collegiate wrestlers. So this is not like fake wrestling. This is the actual college stuff. And the only twist is that they're going to tell people's backstories. I saw somewhere that maybe they're going to add like entrances too. But basically, they're making the college athletes characters.
Yeah, they're going to showbiz wrestling.
Yes.
I just don't know how that's going to work out. Either they're going to ruin real wrestling or it's just going to suck.
I don't know. So they have their first event is in like June. So it will be something to keep an eye on. I want to play this video because there's a takeaway from this video. You need to see how Hogan describes this. And honestly, it just sounds like a feature as opposed to like, anything real. Like, oh, we're going to tell their backstory. Okay, but what does that do for anything? I don't understand. You're telling me that the NCAA can't just add a backstory? But yes, let's let Hogan describe it himself.
We're going to go to all the major venues. Our first one is August 30th in Cleveland. But the main thing is because Eric's important to this venture, he knows how to deliver, produce, and make the fans care about these athletes. Like when Eric was explaining it to me, he goes, it's like The Voice. You shoot the backstory, he broke his leg when he was younger, his family fell apart, or he got rewards for wrestling growing up. But once we find out what the backstory is, when these guys come through the tunnel, you already care about the athletes. Plus, I was worried when I first hooked up with Izzy because of the charisma and the business I did. We like to entertain people too.
That's right.
I was worried about these young guys being like flat white bread, and once I got around, they all got that Conor McGregor swagger. They've been watching TV, they've been watching promos, they know about branding, they understand the opportunity, not only to make a ton of money doing what they love, freestyle wrestling, but we're going to go to all the major venues. Our first.
Dude.
Oh my God. So they're turning, oh my God. It sounds worse now that I heard that.
Right?
Like they're really trying to fuse both worlds together.
And they tried to do that with like the XFL and shit.
Yeah, the XFL failure. Maybe Mr. Man gonna jump in on this too. I don't know.
Maybe. Why not?
But yeah, we shall see where that goes. And like I said, I'll probably watch. If it's free, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna go out of my way and pay for it. Maybe we'll do a review on it if I watch it.
I don't know. My understanding is Hogan and Bischoff don't have any amateur wrestling training either. So.
Well, that's why that Izzy guy's there. But, when he threw out there cutting promos, I'm like, oh, God. That's too much. I initially heard the backstory part, and I thought, at most, maybe there's, special entrances or something. But now he's talking about cutting promos. It's like, okay. Probably want to walk that back.